Well, boys, it's time to get crystallized. And we do want to get crystallized. This is a knife by my buddy, Ivan Braginets. He's the designer, and this is Kristal Knives out of, well, I think this came from St. Petersburg, Russia. Oh, by the way, real quick look. Go figure. It's always nice to have a set of these. I'll tell you what, I got about 3 sets of these. I can't get enough of them. It's just nice to have. Nice little portable Torxes. And then, boy, a bunch of extra hardware. There's a hardened steel insert. All kinds of goodies there. And then, oh yeah, about the knife. This is the Bronze Horseman 2.0. Okay. It's obviously number 42, I guess. And Ivan, titanium, M390, yes, yes, and yes. So, nice pouch. I mean, pretty respectable there. Pocket on both sides. Zipper. Just like that. Yeah, and this rubber, kind of Velcroed on Kristal Knives. And here's the Horseman. About five minutes into the video, you get to see the knife. I like this. This is weird. This was really strange when I first got this because it felt so strange. It's very thin. This is like 0.41 of an inch. I mean, even the Paramilitary 2 is like see, that's 10.6. 0.41 of an inch. What's the blade? I think that's like 3.5. Yeah, that 0.13 would be 3.5. Yeah, about 3.5 millimeters. So, not shabby on this, but this is so thin. It's kind of weird, and might be not good, except for the fact that it's a tall handle. So you get it's taking up a lot of your hand because this is so tall. And the blade is really a great user shape blade, don't you think? I like it. Now, can you flick it with that cutaway? I don't know. What do you think? Couple of guesses there? Yeah, you can. So, I mean, I like the middle finger flick knives. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. But this flipper tab is so muted. And you may think maybe a little too muted, and maybe you're right. It's almost like a push button, but kind of a light switch push button, kind of a combo move right there. That's interesting. And I believe I tore this apart. Well, I'm going to tear it apart anyhow, but I think I took it apart when I first got it. I believe this has multi-row ceramic bearings on it. And you can tell because look at the way this thing it really drops nice. It's got a smooth feel to it. And I'll give you all the information I can on Kristal Knives. They're just difficult because their site is in Russian, and so you can't read it. But I was like direct messaging Ivan saying I can't read it, and he goes, oh, just do the Google Translate. And so he sent me the link for the Google Translate, and that's what I'll put down here actually, and then you can read it. Okay, but you contact like Kristal Knives direct message. Let me wipe this blade off. Through their Instagram, and that'd be the way to do it, really. Direct message them or Ivan. I'll give you his Instagram link, so you can direct message him. He can pass it on to them. There weren't a lot of these made, so that's that one thing. Hold on, let me take a look. Okay, this is 42 of 150. M390, Ivan Braginets. Very strange. Let's put it on the scale because it feels light. Now, I don't know if it feels light just because it's thin or because it's light. 121 grams. Yeah, that's not too shabby. Let's roll it around to ounces. 4.2. You know, for a big old dog like this, that's not bad. Let me throw a tape on it. Come here, you crazy. Ooh, baby. I think they said 3 3/4 inches, but I mean, you've got 3.8 inches cutting length. You move up, move up, move up on the bolster up here. Okay, 3 3/4. Okay. But so anywhere from like, wow, you got about 98 millimeter cutting length there. There's 100 right there. So, you know, call it how you want. And then overall, it's 8 3/4, maybe 8.8. You know, it's a good size knife, isn't it? Oh, 22.5 centimeters, pretty much. But if you're interested in this, and you might be, yeah, see, that's 32 millimeters. That's 1.26. Now, let's close it up and see how much we're taking. Because remember, a paramilitary 2 is like 1.6 inches from top to here. So, yeah, you're going to be about the same amount of real estate in your pocket as a PM2. So, I mean, is that really a big deal? No, not really. Only it's going to be thinner. And even with that back spacer, no more than it weighs is kind of strange. But, wow, that flicks nice. That really does flick nice. You know, the design flow is great. Of course, Ivan's done so many different knives. He did the Wee caliber. He's done a bunch for Real Steel, the Relic, and who did he do? The Kaiser Odin for for Kaiser. I've kept my Odin because I really like it so much. But more, it fixed blades and all kinds of things. So this is not his first rodeo, that's for sure. Really nice, really nice. And they've got another one too that I will do on my channel pretty darn soon. But wow, and both of them are Ivan designed, and they're both very impressive. The second one I'll show you is really a little bit more out there than this knife. This is almost conservative in comparison. So look at all the areas that have been machined out. So really has really taken a lot of material out of here. And then of course you've got your lanyard area. Look at the pocket clip. Now, I've carried this on several occasions, probably while I was wiping the blade down, of course. But this goes in and out of the pocket fine. It's strange. I mean, if you've seen this kind of design clip before, they work. I mean, milled pocket clips being what they are, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's probably not the first choice of the most functional type of pocket clip, but you got to do it when you have a titanium knife, right? But this actually works pretty well. It's definitely not deep carry, but wow. And here's all your hardware stuff. I think if I'd have jumped in on the choices here, I would have said, nah, I don't want to do number 6s on the body, and that's what they got here. So I would have done number 8s all the way through, and I think people are finally, you know, manufacturers are starting to get that point. Here's your lockup. That's pretty stout, actually. If you look at this area here, it's at least 35, and see they've kind of cut away here, so it looks, the lock bar looks a little thinner there than it really is in reality, but it's got some jimping here, so disengaging is easy, and cutting your thumb off is even easier, so go ahead and do that. Oh, by the fact that this flipper tab is very muted, this might happen, so be careful. But it's, I'll bet right there, yeah, it's over the detent. So really, if you snug up on it and you catch that flipper tab, you're okay. So you can, well, you've seen me miss this a couple times, right? Because it's very muted, and I always bitch and moan about big old sails up there, you know, flipper tabs being too big. And I think he he got me now. He got me. He says, like, be careful what you wish for. But, you know, it just comes right up here, and it's a nice flow to that. And they milled that out a little bit. There's at least that little separation here for when you sharpen it. Nice. But, wow. Yeah, I like it. It's such a good sized knife. The ergos are good. And this blade has height, flat grind, piercing. This swedge comes down, kind of helps reinforce this tip. The fact that you can finger flick it, the fact that it's really smooth and drops well, you know, just so much. And really is going to hide in your pocket pretty well because it's so thin. Okay, so we got, I mean, it's weird that this pivot, like on the back, is not where your entrance is on your Torx. Isn't that strange? But here we go, and I do believe I pulled this open because I think I showed pictures of it disassembled showing the double row bearings on my Instagram. So this has been opened before, and let me pull it apart again just for the hell of it. Oh, yeah, I think I remember this little baby. Holding on from the back. There you go. And come on. And of course, you know, one comes out one way, one comes out the other. But of course. So let's see how we, oh, there we go. Double row. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to let go. Come on, let go. There you go. And there's the back spacer. Obviously, this pin here, you know, goes right in here. And I mean, you know, with all this milling here, look at how much they pocketed on the inside, too. Wow. And so, yeah, I like the multi-row ceramic bearings, especially when you've got a blade. This is a pretty substantial blade here. And so you need some support, right? And it's kind of nice that you can give it a broader ring of support, and, you know, to stabilize the blade and everything. So I'm really happy with that. I think that was a great decision. And, you know, I never did change the lube. I had just taken it apart briefly to take a picture of the bearings and put it back. Ceramic bearings, of course, and ceramic detent ball. And there's your hardened steel insert. And it runs interference right here in this little area. So that's why you don't have a tab up here, okay? Because it's running the interference to keep it from over travel right here. And then, of course, there's your screws holding in the hardened steel. And there's your screws, you know, from the backside on the pocket clip, which is a nice clean look. Yeah, it's all good. And, of course, here's the pivot. And it's D-shaped. So it's a good thing we took it apart where we did. And, of course, you can't from that side anyhow, but, yeah. And I like the way people do that when they do that, various manufacturers. You don't need to have a Torx entry there because you got a D-shaped pivot and you're going to stop everything from turning, so that's good. And of course on this side, there you go, you can see where the squared off area is that corresponds. So let's build it back from where she come from. Oh yeah, we're going to have to point this down. We're going to put a string of bearings on here. And let's kick our, hold on, let's go the right way. Get out of here. Okay, let's put some go-go juice on here. And a little bit lighter lube than was on there originally. You can see how the stop, you know, works here, you know, there, and then when it swings around the other way, we'll compress the lock bar and roll it around like that, and it stopped there. And then, of course, we've got the back spacer, which kicks on over here. You know what? We could just as soon put it right here. It wanted to hold on for dear life right over there, didn't it? It was a pull. There we go. So, bearings on this side. Put a little juice on it. Make sure our flat spot on the pivot is face down. So it will correspond with the front side when we put this on, and we will put this little piece there. Okay, now, go on. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so, throw this on like this. Let's lock this down. Yeah. Okay, well, that was a positive stop on that, that's for sure. Let's put this little, these screws the same size, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. The hardware seems real positive fit for it, Here we go. Come on. You can kind of tell when these screws hit bottom. I mean, there's no slop in there. They're there or they're not. Yeah, like right there. Now, are we centered? Yeah. We got any blade play? Nope. Yeah, drop is nice. Still very nice. Really interesting knives. Yeah, not for everybody, I guess. And I don't know if they're going to go into a regular general production or not, because this is 42 of 150. So, But you know me, I always like going off-road. And so Kristal Knives, really, this is not Benchmade, Spyderco, your standard stuff. This is just different, but good different. I really like it. I've carried it half a dozen times in the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, it's all of that. It really is. It's so easy to function with. I was looking at this blade trying to figure out, is that really a true satin grind? And it's really kind of either a light bead blast, kind of a light stone wash, really. It's trying to figure that out. This actually might be interesting if you had it pimped out, with an alternate color, like do the whole thing in bronze and then in these little inlay areas a different color. That'd be pretty stunning. But really, overall, knife is pretty impressive. I like it. I'll be interested in seeing what else comes forth from Kristal Knives. Just one of those extras out there that's kind of surprises you. Take care. I'm going to let you go. Hey, subscribe to my channel if you would. And you know what we do? We love them knives, so stay sharp.